Great. Okay. We have just gone live. So we are back from closed session. Inside of closed session, the vote was unanimous for the stipulated expulsions of student number 22-23-2002-9207785068, as well as student number 22-23-01-9746911978. And again, the vote was unanimous. No other action was taken in closed session. With that, I will entertain a motion for the approval of the minutes of the that would be the August 23rd board meeting, please.
So moved.
Second.
Questions, comments, or concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? One abstention. Okay. Again, please bear with me in the nice full room, but I have to read all this, so I apologize. Business from the floor. The board meeting is a business meeting of the board held in a public forum to comply with the Brown Act. It is not a town hall meeting with the board. This is a time for citizens to present problems or questions they feel the board should discuss. Individuals are encouraged to address the full board, not individual board members. The law prohibits the board from taking action on items not on the agenda. In accordance with AB 361, signed and dated September 16, 2021, Varsity Unified School District will allow for remote participation at the upcoming regular board meeting, and this is going to be the next one, on Tuesday, September 27th. General public will be permitted to attend the meeting within the boardroom, but may also submit public comment via email per protocols listed below. Deadline for submission of public comment will be 12 p.m. on Tuesday, September 27th. If you would like to submit public comment, please follow. Identify the item you wish to comment on in your email message. If your comment does not apply to a specific agenda item, write general public comment in the subject line of your email. Comments on consent discussion, public hearing items, or general public comment will be accepted via email prior to the live open public session. Deadline for submission of public comment will be 12 p.m. on the 27th. Submit public comments via email to the superintendent's senior executive assistant at Christina_Crane@busdk12.com. Each comment will be read aloud by a member of staff as received and are subject to a 3-minute time limit. We're assuming that's approximately 250 words. Comment received outside the comment period outlined above will not be read aloud and will not be reflected in the minutes. With that being said, is there any internet submissions?
No.
Is there any items for public comment this evening?
No, this evening.
Thank you, sir. We're going to go to staff reports. We're going to go to the 22-23 10-day enrollment report. Mr. Malin.
Yes, Ms. Dibble, I'll bring it up here if you'd like to elaborate on the 10-day report.
We will do so, and if you can bring up the other one as well. So we'll look at that one first. So this report is the actual enrollment for 2022-23 compared to the actual attendance in class for the first 10 days of school. We also removed the August 9 day from this count and added August 22nd, since August 9 was a day where we were not in session due to the weather. And you can see that our enrollment.
I'm sorry. No, you're good. My fault.
Our 2022 is at 6,531, but our actual student count for the 10 days that we took that student count came in at 5,521. Which is giving us an actual daily attendance ratio of about 85%, which is significantly below the average that this district maintains at about 93%, and obviously the ratio that we would like to be at, which is at about 95%. And the importance behind that is we are funded based upon the time that a student is in class. If they're there all 180 days, we receive a full 100% of our ABA portion for that student. If a student misses a day, then we are deducted that cost in our revenue from the California State Department of Education. So extremely important for our students to be in class, not only for revenue purposes, but obviously instruction and their instructional maintenance throughout the 22-23 school year. So this is the actual 2022-2023 enrollment versus the actual ADA in class. And then the other report shows you the comparison to 2021-22. So enrollment for this year compared to enrollment for last year. And you'll see that it's up slightly this year. So if you scroll over to, yes, there you go. So in 21-22, enrollment was at 6,320, and in 22-23, we have that 6,531. So we are up about 211 students. It would be great if we can see all 211 in class every day. And this is the 10-day student count presented as an information item.
Questions of Ms. Dibble or comments?
Strange that more kids are there, but not as many are going to school.
We're still experiencing a decline in actual attendance. Yes.
My comments on the reason we have this, we have a packed room because we have concerned parents that are here to acknowledge their children and what it is that they do. I believe it's solely the responsibility of a parent, guardian, and adult in the child's life to make sure they come to school. The best place for your student is in the classroom, not necessarily just for the well-being of Barstow Unified School District, but for the learning and the remediation or getting back up to of the learning loss that your child suffered over the last 2 years. So it behooves you, after you saw this report, of going and telling your neighbors, your friends, your sisters, your brothers, and everybody else that's around you that says, hey, we have to get our kids to school. Personal opinion, soapbox, that's what I do. You know, it used to be cool to take a kid out and go to Disneyland on Tuesday because there was nobody there. Nowadays, we need them to get into class and we'll figure out Disneyland during the summertime or winter break or something like that when there's 6 million other people at Disneyland. But your student needs to make up for lost time. And the teachers are trying their best to help that student make up, but they need to be in the classroom in order to do it. Talk to your site administrators, you know, do whatever it is you need to do. But get your kids, your neighbors' kids, your relatives, they need to be in class. Okay, with that being said, I would like to move on the agenda and bump up the Skyline folks in order to, you know, have them do their things because they probably have dinners and, you know, homework to do and everything else. The board okay with that?
Sure, sir.
Okay. Mr. Malin or
Yes, Mr. Doak's gonna be right over here, I think.
where? I didn't even see.
In the hallway.
Oh, Mr. Doki, come on in, please. We bumped you up.
SDC.
Oh, he's over in the
I think
SDC.
they're practicing.
Oh.
Yeah, perfect, you're good.
Well, with that being said, welcome to the board meeting. You guys are more than welcome to come anytime and go through these full agendas with us. They are kind of complicated. The information you saw there is just the tip of the iceberg of what it is you'll learn in here. We like having people out here. Welcome, Mr. Doki. Keep going. Stand by. Thank you. Are you ready?
Hello, Mr. Manlin and members of the Board of Trustees. With your permission, we, the Skyliner Student Council members, would like to update you on recent fall events and upcoming events. Mr. Manlin and members of the Board of Trustees, for the past couple of weeks, candidates for the Skyline Student Council have been campaigning and practicing speeches. Candidate speeches and elections were completed by September 2nd. We would now like to take a moment to introduce ourselves. For security purposes, we will only be giving you our elected positions. Madam President.
Madam Vice President, Madam Secretary, Treasurer,
Madam Ways and Means.
Fire Marshal.
Madam Public Relations. Room 6 Class Rep. Room 7 Class Rep. Room 13 Class Rep. Room 14 Class Rep. Room 15 Class Rep.
Room 16 Class Rep.
Before the school year started, our Skyline staff led by Dr. McDonald spent 2 weeks creating a welcome back video for Skyline students. It is a parody of the Encanto animation focusing on anti-bullying. It is focusing on anti-bullying and encourages students to be respectful, responsible, and safe. The Skyline Performing Arts Club started on week 1 of school this year as we already had our first training. Coach Yoko Hamamara and his team provided the club and members with cinematic fight training in preparation for this year's production.
On August 15th, we had auditions for Disney's Aladdin Jr. Currently, we have a cast of K through 3rd, 21 actors. Of 4 through 6, 28 actors. Our production is planned for Wednesday, November 2nd at 6 p.m.
We would also like to extend an invitation to the Board of Trustees and the District Admin to join us for an incredible evening of entertainment as we are working hard to give you a great show. We are also working on a new venture at the Boston Community College Performing Arts Center. We have invited guest instructors in the performing arts industry to provide classes in acting, singing, and crew responsibilities.
Currently, we are working with the BCC Deaf Artists to utilize the Tech Center as a means of providing incredible experience for ourselves. We'll also be joined with Amanda Will and the Barstow Fine Arts Academy Performing Arts Club.
Dr. McDonald has started an intervention and enrichment program. This allows students to strengthen their academics and to reach new areas and subject interests. Thank you to the BUS Mainton School for building a new fence fire playground to allow us to play in the grass. Our Skyline Garden has been expanded to meet the needs of our growing family. 2 additional garden boxes were created in addition using a new irrigation system using drip lines to reduce the loss of water. We also enjoyed Lunch on the Lawn first time this year. Parents, guardians, and students got to eat on the grass and in the garden area, enjoying the beautiful weather. Kindergarten had their annual Grandparents' Day celebrating, singing songs, and eating honey buns.
Room 7 completed the annual tradition of going to the Leadership Pool for 5 days. Students learned basic, intermediate, and advanced swimming skills. They worked on measurement and buoyancy labs, rescue swimming, diving, and not tying underwater.
Room 15 also took advantage of the day to bond to create better classroom relationships.
A huge shout out to the city of Barstow for cleaning up and repairing the damage of the windstorm to make sure our students can use the pool.
As for our upcoming events this week, Tuesday and Thursday, Skyline parents and community members will be meeting for ELAC and SSC. Skyline would also like to formally invite you to join us for our first 2 community outreach events of this year. On Monday, September 19th, from 5:30 to 7 p.m., we will have our Literacy on the Lawn and PTO recruitment event. There will be a scavenger hunt with activities related to literacy. We will have speakers, book readings, and prizes. Then our annual fall festival is on Wednesday, October 26th, from 4 to 7 p.m. We will have music, games, food, and fun. Mr. Mayor and members of the Board of Trustees, do you have any questions for us?
Oh, I've been doing a lot of public speaking lately, and you guys did.
Far better.
Thank you for your time and have an awesome Skyline week.
Amazing job, you guys. Good job.
Thank you for coming out, guys. Exactly.
Maybe they can get my report.
by yourself over there.
I'm just coming back.
Dr. McDonald is they're putting that bar up there.
Awesome.
I think it has to do a lot with
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Doki left.
Thank you, Dr. McDonald. Thank you. We're back. We're going to go on to the superintendent's report, Mr. Manley.
Yes, want to report that our BUSD staffing is improving. We have acquired some additional teachers that are from the Philippines that are going to be here on Sunday, I believe, George, and also have hired some additional staff recently. So we're closing the gap when it comes to the gap on addressing our shortages that we're having in the classroom at the moment. Homecoming week, and I'm sure Christiana's going to talk about this shortly, is September 16th, the whole week. Events I'm sure she'll talk about. September 16th, football versus Burroughs. The 16th also is the Art Davis Way ceremony and dedication at Barstow High School. That's going to be at 5 p.m. So we would invite everyone to that event as well. I will also want to recognize and thank the STEM office staff and Barstow PD for their quick response to the Barstow STEM Academy rumor of a weapon or a threat on campus. Situation was quickly addressed. Our SROs investigated the rumor, which was unfounded. Response to the event will be evaluated, discussed with STEM staff and our SROs for any response issues to be addressed. And that's all I have.
All right. Going on, we're going to go to the board reports. Mr. Watson.
What I have to report was I was invited to go to the Barstow High School to go look at their new strength and conditioning center. It was amazing, seeing all the new equipment, being able to see our kids be able to use that type of stuff. And the other thing that I went to was the Water Day at Cameron on August 30th. And if you guys need to go to a Water Day. Those guys are blast, running around having fun. So I'm looking forward to doing more events with the kids and with the staff.
Mr. Rockmore.
Well, last week I had the privilege of representing Mojave Valley United Way and distributing school supplies to numerous schools in the district. And then, gosh, I forgot what else I was going to say. But right now, that's it.
Thanks, sir. Ms. Connor.
I have nothing to report.
Mr. Pruitt.
I also had the opportunity to go and make to Barstow High and look at their fitness center, and it was state-of-the-art equipment. I expressed to Marseilles that day that our athletes start utilizing this equipment, we're going to have a big change in how they perform. So it was really nice. I liked the enthusiasm that the principal had, and really appreciate that. That was good. That was a good trip.
Woke up the line so we can run the ball even more. Or give them more protection so we can throw it. I don't have anything to report, but I do have a request because I see a bunch of staff in here and stuff like that. We were solicited, the board and administrators, to work the snack bar at homecoming. Myself and Mr. Watson are going to be there because Mr. Balin uses the strength and conditioning. He has to kind of go out for a while, and so he will not be there. I am looking to possibly have anywhere from 3 to 5 more volunteers. The boosters are looking for some at the same time. So if anybody would like to help, I will be honest, I've done it 3 or 4 times now. It's hot, it's busy, but it's a heck of a lot of fun. And the kids do appreciate it. So I would ask that if anybody is here, please assist Mr. Watson and I because we can't handle it by ourselves. And we could use it. And it's
Last year we had a good time.
We did have
I think that's 4.
Yeah, 4 or 5 people. So, I'll be here up until the end of the meeting, so feel sorry for us maybe and want to contribute to our, help. All right, student representatives report. Young lady, it's your turn.
Hi, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well from last time we met. I have a pretty insightful report this week, so bear with me. As obvious, homecoming week is this week. It's a really exciting atmosphere at the high school right now. As Mr. Malin stated, the game is this Friday against Burroughs. They were 0-9 last year, so hopefully we can win. We are still doing the homecoming reveal for the court during halftime. We changed it again. It is only queen and princesses this year, but that's for future event purposes. We also changed the nominating process. To be nominated, you have to be nominated by a staff member. So you kind of have to show a more example of like Aztec pride on campus. So we have a lot more active and involved girls who are candidates. Piggybacking off of football, we have Powder Puff. It's also a very highly anticipated event, October 13th. A lot of our seniors are really looking forward to it, boys and girls. So I would like to extend an invitation to all of you to watch it because a lot of our seniors will be participating, including yours truly. So yeah, it's going to be very entertaining. And the next day is the Axe game, which is home this year. The Jackrabbits currently have the Axe, but again, hopefully we can get that one back. Going off of fall sports more, volleyball is undefeated and on fire. Their next home game is September 26th. I hope you can all come and watch them that day. They're really cool to watch. I mean, the determination is just on another level. Girls tennis is also still having games at Dana Park. Cross country is also not having meets at home. It's another concern that I wanted to humbly address. We have so many talented track and cross country and tennis athletes that we can't necessarily watch perform at our home courts or home track because of the DSL safety concerns with the quality and conditions of our track. So I kind of just wanted to bring that to light. So hopefully for future reference, we could get them repaired or something so we can have all of our athletes perform at home and on our turf. Going on, winter sports are starting soon and we're excited for those. Basketball, wrestling, soccer. We all dominate in DSL at those, so I hope you guys are looking forward to those ones. Going on to the school, ASB hosted an alumni tour for the class of 77 this Saturday. It was kind of endearing to hear stories from past and present and share how things used to be and how they are now at the same school, but that was really nice. As Mr. Watson brought up, this Aztec Strength and Conditioning Center, it encourages athletes in wellness, so it's really cool. To be honest, it's really cool. And back to the alumni yearbook is selling alumni yearbooks for the class of 1983 to the class of 2015 on sale for $20 each only. The staff is also taking a lot more initiative. They were able to drop down the price of yearbooks from $90 to $75. And one more thing, the Honor Society, our CSF, we are anticipating an overnight trip to UC Santa Barbara to kind of get a glimpse on what college is like over there. And we also have a college fair in collaboration with Barstow Community College on the 22nd. And I hope some of you can, attend that just to meet some of our high scholars and kind of prepare us and kind of allow more insight into what college is like. But yeah, it's going to be a really successful and spiritual next few weeks at Barstow High, but that's all I have for you today. So, yeah.
My only comment, my oldest graduated from Barstow High School and went on to UC Santa Barbara and was very well prepared for what it is that she got there. So, in other words, if you choose to go to the UC system, pay attention to class and they will prepare you to be successful in the UC system.
Noted. Thank you.
Anything else? Okay. We are going to, we're going to do something kind of out of the norm with the permission of the board, and please let us do this. Ms. Claudia Valdez, hold on one second, Ms. Valdez. Our meeting started at 6 o'clock. Public comment is agendized, or 5 o'clock, I apologize. I looked at the thing, 5 o'clock. It is agendized earlier. Generally, we don't take things out of order because we've already passed by that one. But with the pleasure of the board, because she came down here, Ms. Valdez would like to speak. Do we have any problems from the board?
Absolutely.
Ms. Valdez, please recognize the next time. Please come at the start of the meeting. Then we will recognize you now, but in the future, once it's passed, it's passed.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I do apologize for.
No, you're okay.
Basically, I don't know when everything changed on the start date for the school. I remember, and this is a long time ago when I graduated, it was like the second week of June and we start in September. As you know, August is the hottest day of the summer. And this is, according to the experts, this is going to get hotter and hotter. I see a lot of the kids walk. She also had an episode of that she was getting really dizzy, bloody nose. Is there any way that we can go back to start in September? This is too hot. Too hot for them. Early in the morning at 6 o'clock in Barstow, it's already 86 degrees. So that's one petition. I don't know if it has to do with the district. I don't know if it has to do with the state, but it's concerning because as you all see in the news, in 10 years, 5 years, this is going to get even worse. And so this is too hard for the kids. And the second thing, it was, can we get, during COVID, we got computers, Chromebooks, from the state. My little one is going to the Academy of Fine Arts. I know it's a new school, but I was wondering if the kids are allowed to get the Chromebooks to take home. Every year I go to the meetings and they keep saying how they are low in math and English, but it's the same percentage every year. So I don't know, what can we do for them to get improved? Why wait until May to go to the parents-teacher meeting conference and realize, oh, he's behind or she's behind? What can we do to do something to not wait until the end of the year to realize, oh, he's behind? And because of this state, I guess, rules that no kids get behind, the kids are going to the next grade, but they don't know anything. And so I was wondering, how come some schools have Chromebooks and some others don't? It's the same district. So if the money is going to the same district, why can some places have the computers and some don't? And that's just, I'll have to say, thank you for listening. I'm really shaking in there when I don't speak. But I'm really concerned about the kids. It's just really hot.
We're a very friendly board. There's no reason to be intimidated here. Everybody left, so it was kind of nice you came in. You had a packed room earlier. Mr. Malin, please get together with Mr. Valdez, and he will address some of your concerns, talk to you about them, and then see what it is we can do.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to go on to representatives' reports. Ms. Dool, we're going to start with you first, and first on behalf of the board, I'd like to issue condolences for your loss. Tough time, but happy to see you back, and very nice thing that you said.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Board members and guests, the next regularly scheduled meeting of the Personnel Commission is scheduled for Thursday, October 13th at 4:30 p.m. Barstow Unified currently has 352 classified employees, and we have 3 recruitments open.
Thank you, Ms. Dool. BEA.
Hello, I'm Shanda Barella, I'm the bargaining chair, if you do not know me, bargaining chair for our union. Ms. Shealy apologizes, she was at jury duty today and thought she would be here, but she's not, so here I am. With a little scribble of what I decided we were going to talk about. So last Wednesday, we held a forum for our candidates, and it was great listening to their opinions and their views on what their plans are for the district and how we'll collaborate with them. So that was great hearing their opinions and their thoughts. We also appreciate the board allowing our input on the upcoming selection for the superintendent. So we thank you for that. This Friday, BEA is going to do our Friday Night Lights at the football game at the high school, so supporting our band booster and the football booster. We also have some upcoming training with our directors and members. So we have 3 SPED teachers that will be attending a training on September 30th. And that's all that BEA has to report today. Thank you.
Thanks, Rocky. Ms. Gonzalez.
Okay, I like when she speaks. She keeps it simple.
Good evening, everyone.
So to piggyback off her, we also had the forum where our candidates came and spoke. We also have personnel commission candidates that we had come and speak, as well as we have a new appointee for our CSEA on personnel commission with the resignation of Raynette Grieber. So that was great to hear everybody's thoughts again and to be able to ask questions and everything. So it was great to hear all of that. We have our next meeting will be next Thursday, and we do have an MOU up for voting in regards to our working out a class director who's doing one of our classified staff who's acting as director for nutrition services at the moment while we're flying that position and hoping that we're going to get some good candidates for it that are going to stick around for Barstow and help support BUSD. Again, still just working with the district in regards to vacancies, trying to make sure that we can help facilitate anything that we can to get those positions filled as quickly as possible with good candidates. Same with her. Thanking you guys for allowing us to have input for the superintendent that will be replacing Mr. Malin. Today we did our membership blitz. It was great to go on campuses and be able to see people in person, talk to them about their membership, about the union, the benefits, and becoming members. We actually signed up 19 new members today, so that was really nice. And everybody just appreciated being able to talk to us in person and finding out a little bit more about what they weren't sure that the union provided for them. So that was great. So we do also have a new fundraiser coming up. It's not until November, but November 2nd, we will have Chipotle from 4 to 8. So we'll get with Mr. Chavez and get that out there to the community in regards to helping support a fundraiser to earn some money to give back to the kids. So that's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you stating, you know, you're more than welcome. I didn't want to call you this one. We're going to go into the adoption agenda. We have completed copy K6B2, employment of classified limited term substitute personnel, as well as corrected copy K6B4, changes in salary and or classification of classified personnel. I will entertain a motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
Second.
Anything from any board members? Anything from the superintendent? No. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Moving on to another presentation. Mr. Chavez.
Yes, sir.
Strength and conditioning.
Thank you, members of the board, Superintendent Malin, directors, esteemed guests. Barstow High School has launched their new Aztec Strength and Conditioning Center. I had the pleasure of talking to Dr. Jimenez, Trustee Craig, Trustee Watson, and wanted to present a video that we will push out shortly after this meeting ends on the Strength and Conditioning Center.
Oops, I'm sorry. Hold on.
We did that, and that's not our expertise did it. Mr. Mayor, and become related to those. First and foremost, giving them a facility that they can feel proud in for 3 classes for all of our sports teams, both male and female, to walk into a building and have a sense of pride to be an Aztec and being the best student athlete, the best student that can possibly be.
Very impressed by the facility, state-of-the-art equipment that's in here. I think this will be a big deal for our sports team. The fact that we can get our students more fit, prouder of their school, this will bring a lot of pride to Barstow Aztecs, and I can't wait to see what the product, the end product is after this facility. Great. Really.
It's a beautiful facility for an amazing team that we have. I look forward to seeing what we can produce with such an amazing facility. And last thing I have to say is, let's go Aztecs.
Very cool. Any questions?
Very nice. Very nice.
Fantastic.
We got to teach others. I'm going to teach Mr. Malin the correct use of freeways and
Yeah, well, when you're 16, 17, 18 years old, I'm not 58, 59.
Trying for personal
Probably out
max. Thank you, Mr. Travis. Thanks. Any further communications, Mr. Mayor?
No, none, I'm sorry.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Would any trustee care to pull anything from the consent agenda? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, L11, amendments, contract and employment agreement for superintendent. Recommending Board of Trustees approve the amendment for the contract of employment agreement superintendent between governing board and Barstow Unified School District. Anyone to entertain a motion? My apologies.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, I am asking the board to add additional language to my contract and the future superintendent's contract with regards to Government Code 825 and 995, which is regarding indemnification. Just assuring that the district is going to represent, whether it is a past superintendent or an assistant superintendent, which is in the language of our current cabinet members as well, that it recognizes any legal concerns that may arise and or litigation that the superintendent and or any other cabinet member may be subject to as a result of, in the capacity of their employment, that they're represented by the district, which we've never had a concern, but it's just solidifying this language and the Government Code 825 and 995, which is a current superintendent or past superintendent or during their employment, they are represented at that point in time. And so this is nothing out of the ordinary, but it's just solidifying this in the contract of the current superintendent and any future superintendent.
Questions? My contracts have it in the private world, and everything else we should have in communication. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? L12, appointment of employee member of the Personnel Commission, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, we have, and as Ms. Gonzalez mentioned, a new candidate for Personnel Commissioner, which is Ms. Olga Pringle, that is recommended by CSEA. This is the CSEA appointee to the Personnel Commission. And the letter that is by Renee Gonzalez, I will just bring it up real quick here. Saying appointment of Personnel Commissioner Olga Pringle to complete term for Renee Griever, who has resigned. So the Chapter 306 would like to appoint Olga Pringle to complete the term for Renee Griever, who resigned as Personnel Commissioner. Please submit her name to the Barstow Schools Board of Trustees for us. So I'm presenting her name to the Board of Trustees for consideration for the CSEA member to fill the term of duration for Ms. Renee Griever.
Entertain a motion.
So second.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? L41 purchase order listing from 8/17 through 9/6 in the amount of $1,569,288.69. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
Questions of Ms. Dibble? All in favor?
Aye.
L42, opposed? L42, public hearing and adoption of the 21-22 unaudited actuals financial report. We are going to convene into a public hearing. The time now is 5:43. Mr. Mayor.
Yes, I will turn the time over to Ms. Dibble to present the unaudited actuals to the board.
Thank you. So these are the 2021-2022 unaudited actuals report. This is the Ed Code, section 42100 and 42132, that demonstrates the purpose behind the unaudited actuals and our due date of September 15th to the County Office of Education. This also illustrates the proposal of the GAN initiative, which there's a slide coming up to clarify what GAN numbers are. But again, this is just the Ed Code section. And then revenues, I'm very pleased to let the board know that we came really close between the adopted budget on June 22nd, 2021 and our unaudited actuals for September 13, 2022. We were very close to what we had projected. So I will run through these very quickly. I did compare them, the unaudited actuals to the budget. The estimated actuals are there. that is what was presented to you when we reviewed the 2022-2023 budget. But if you'll see, as far as the first column, the budget adoption, and the third column, the unaudited actuals, with LCFS resources, we projected $70.2 million. We actually received $71.6 million. For federal revenue, projection of 18.9, we received 8.8. The reason for that reduction is because ESSER dollars, most of our COVID dollars are grant dollars. So we projected that we would spend a lot of those ESSER 1, ESSER 2, and now ESSER 3 dollars at the budget adoption. But when it actually came throughout the year, we spent quite a few of those, but we didn't quite spend all of it. We have on ESSER 2 through 2023 and ESSER 3 through 2024. So we're slowly projecting out those expenditures. As you know, we're planning the wellness center at this point in time. So that's the reason for the 8.8 compared to the 18.9 is that the ESSER dollars are grant dollars, which means we do not receive those dollars until we expend the money. As soon as we expend the money, file the report, then we receive those dollars. So that's the reason behind that, but we still have to budget those. And then state revenue, we projected $5 million in state revenue and actually received 10.1. Again, this was just some other state revenues that we were not projecting to receive in June 2021 that actually came through in September, actually throughout the entire year, and bumped up that number. Some of that was related to COVID, and some of that was related to special education, so it just depended on the pot of money that was coming in for state revenue and the changes to the state revenue. And then local revenue projected $629,000 and received $507,000. So for total revenue in 21-22, 94.7 is what we projected, 91.2 is what we received. And in expenditures, you go up a little bit higher, Mr. Maitland. There you go. So you can see the actual, again, very close. The budget was very, very close. So comparison, certificated salaries, we projected 29.5 in certificated salaries and expended 30 million. In classified salaries, we projected 12.2 and expended 12.7. Employee benefits, we projected 20.2 and we expended 20.3. In supplies and books, we were projecting 5.7 million in expenditures and we actually expended 4.9. In services, 15.5, and our actuals were at 15 million. And then in other capital outlay, indirect and other outgoing, we projected 1 million, and we actually had 2.2 million that was expended. For total expenditures projected at 84.3, and our actuals came in at 85.4.
What was the 1.2 million that we were off? And the other capital outlay?
If I recall correctly, which I'm probably not going to, I would have to
I
pull it
won't
up, but
quote
I could certainly get that to you.
Stick it in the front of your report first.
Absolutely.
In regards to the revenues, regarding the federal revenue, are our projections in line though?
Our projections are in line, yes. It's just the difference between those grant dollars. So we go ahead and project that we're going to spend them at the budget. And then as we move through, if we spend them, then that revenue comes in. If we don't spend them, then we carry them forward to the next year.
But we're pretty much right there.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. And our contributions, so the interfund transfer out, that $2 million, that is for the loan that we took out for Barstow Fine Arts Academy, if you recall, a few years ago, I believe 2018, to cover additional costs. And this is the $2 million that the board wants us putting away to make that payment early out. So that transfer out is being made. And the contributions, this is for restricted revenue, where we do not receive as much in restricted revenue as we expend. A lot of that is in special education. I believe the board knows that special education encroaches on the general fund every year, and this is part of that. So we projected 13.7 in contribution to restricted, and our actual contribution came out to 14 million.
how much has transportation kind of gone up in that encroachment? I mean, substantially through this year because of fuel prices and trying to find drivers.
It's more so this year, 22-23,
Okay,
than it was for 21-22, correct. And then in 21-22, we also maintained it.
Oh, and we had this,
Correct.
yeah, okay. My bad. Because those are the two really only encroachments of the general fund, special ed and
And
transportation.
transportation.
There's no real other.
No significant encroachment. Special education is the largest encroachment.
The transportation being the second one.
Transportation second. Yes. And then here are the reserves. So at budget adoption, we projected 8.4 increase. Again, some of that is based on the ESSER dollars and how much we had projected we would spend in 21-22. And then what we actually did expend was the net increase to the general fund 3.7. We had a beginning balance at budget adoption of 26.4, which got adjusted during the unaudited actuals for 2020, 2021. That made our beginning balance 31 million. And then when you add the net increase, our ending balance for 21-22 at 34.8, very close to the 34.9 we were originally projecting. And then, next slide. So COVID, here are those ESSER dollars that we were talking about. So what I put on this slide is what we still have left to spend that has not yet expired. So the governor's emergency education relief, or GEAR, is what we used to refer to it, $421,830 expiring this month, has been fully spent. ESSER 1 at that $3,081,000 expiring September of this month as well, also fully spent. ESSER 2, 12.2 million. We are still expending ESSER 2, and we have until September 2023, which is about a year from now, to expend all of ESSER 2. And then ESSER 3 at the $27,431,000. We have until September 2024 to expend that. And then we also have the in-person instruction at 2.5 million. September 2024 is when it is expiring, and the expanded learning opportunity grant. This is the grant, not the plan. There's a difference at the 5 million with a September 2024 expiration date. And this is just a review of multi-year projection. This is based on the 2022-2023 budget that was presented to you in June. So projected revenue for 23-24 at 125 million. Again, a lot of this is the COVID dollars that we're projecting to come in, and then we'll expend it out. One-time dollars, which is why you see the 24-25 projection at 88.5. We've expended we project to expend all of the ESSER dollars, and therefore there's none left to be received. In projected revenues, 23-24, 127 million, because again, we are projecting expending all of those ESSER dollars. And then in 24-25, you see that we have a projection of 93 million in expenditures. And 24-25 is where we're more at the higher deficit level spending, the 4.6 million. Then 23-24, 23-24, we're very close to where we need to be. But we'll have some work to do in 24-25. But as the board also knows, it's very difficult to project 3 years out. Yes, we do the best we can. And then here's the GAN limit. This is just the GAN appropriations that we have to show that we did not go over in spending. And in 21-22, the adjusted appropriations limit was 37.4 million. We made that number, and the appropriations subject to the limit for 23, the projection is 40.2 million. And so we are passing on the GAN limit, and that is the resolution that you approved on the consent agenda. And then I would like to thank the Board of Trustees, the Superintendent, Administration, District and School Site staff, classified, confidential, and certificated. And certainly a special thanks to Julie Carter, the Director of Fiscal Services, for the completion of the unaudited actuals report. this thank you goes out to everyone for the 2021-2022 school year. We know it was a challenging year, coming back in person instruction, handling a lot of COVID-related issues. January, if all of you recall, January 2022 was quite something with all the COVID cases we were experiencing. But everyone hung in there and put forth a great effort, and I so appreciate and want to thank everyone for their efforts in 2021-2022. And that should be it, I believe, and I'll entertain any questions.
Questions from the board? Questions from the audience? Thank you, ma'am. I'd like to reconvene, and the time now is 5:50. 5:54. 5:54. I'm just messing up the time here. Clock moving properly. All right, I will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Okay. Questions from the board? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? L43, revisions of board policy and administrative regulation 3350, travel expenses. Mr. Malin.
Yes, I'll turn this over to Dibble and I'll bring up the draft proposal.
So as the board is aware, cost of living has increased, and that impact to travel for our staff when they're out at professional development or conferences or workshops has made an impact to what the board has previously approved for their reimbursement for breakfast, lunches, and dinners. So the current language for board policy 3350 is a $50 max per day, breakfast being no more than $10, lunch being no more than $15, and dinner being no more than $25. And we're proposing increasing that due to the increased costs of everyday life and meals and food and everything else that's out there, to $70 for the day, no more than $20 at breakfast, no more than $20 at lunch, and no more than $30 at dinner. And this has been presented to the board for approval. And then in addition to that, we are asking to bring back the administrative regulation for 3350, and we're making it 3350.01. And this is language that resided in board policy previously. And when we reviewed all board policies, I believe it was about a year and a half ago, this was removed based on Gamet's suggestions, where they don't have all of our little nuances to each school district in their language. So this was removed, and the district has discussed the fact that it is important to have this language as an administrative regulation attached to board policy 3350, and we're asking that the board approve this with board policy 3350 for its use moving forward.
And this is for information on this item, correct? This is
Correct.
information.
Well, this
The
is
first one's approval.
The first one, the whole present is
They're both
information.
information. Follow Christina, she's her guidance, she knows better.
First read for information,
There we go.
second read for
Okay.
So these will come back.
They will come
That's
back
the
on
next
consent
one.
next time.
Questions, Ms. Dibble? We're going to go to L6A1, increase in certificated substitute teacher salary schedule. Mr. Malin.
Yes, Mr. Gutierrez?
Yes, so in order for us to be competitive in our area, in our region, as you guys are all aware that, substitute costs have gone up and pay has gone up at other districts. In order to retain and to continue to entice substitutes to fill positions, long-term positions, especially the vacant positions that we have, we are presenting this for the board for their approval, $230 per day for regular substitute, long-term substitute teacher, $245 per day, and retired Barstow Unified School District substitute teacher for $260 per day. And then if they're out of the area 15 miles, $20 per day for gas mileage. Presented for your approval.
Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Questions of Mr. Gutierrez? Let's hope this makes a difference. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? L6A2, the public hearing for the PIPs, which are provisional internship permits. We are going to convene to a public meeting. It is 5:57. Mr. Millen for Mr. Gutierrez.
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Gutierrez.
Yeah, so we advertised these positions and we didn't have any candidates that met the high qualifications by CTC. We have these two individuals who meet the minimum qualifications for the PIP and are going to be working towards obtaining subject matter competency.
Questions, Mr. Gutierrez?
Just for the sake of bringing it up, you might recognize the last name. The first person.
Oh, wow. I didn't put two and two together. That's Mr. Davis' son.
Yes.
That's correct.
That's outstanding. It's neat to see like a homegrown
Yeah.
thing. And, well,
And he's gonna be at Central High School.
exactly. Not like for pub. This just goes to show, and I've kind of said it, and I'll say it again, take it for whatever it's worth, in that, we need to sit in the classroom and tell kids that teaching is a profession that you can embrace and you can make it a lifelong thing. Because without, people telling them to become a teacher nowadays, I don't think people think of it teaching as a career. And we're going to be in bigger problems. This is just starting this year. Wait until we look at this list next year and the following year. They are just not, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Gutierrez, you can go to a job fair and there's 10 candidates and there's 100 school districts. So even if we were the top paying one, we're, still going to take, only 1 out of 10, probably. It's a shame. So everybody needs to preach. This is a great job and you want to become a school teacher. Anything from the crowd for the public hearing? With that, we will close public hearing at 6 o'clock. I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions, Mr. Gutierrez? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? L6A3, BEA MOU 2223, number 1, special ed caseload overages. Mr. Meelan?
Yes.
Mr. Gutierrez.
Yeah, so this MOU, again, we find ourselves, just like last year, with an increase of numbers of caseload per teacher, special ed. This is actually an extension of an MOU that we had last year in place that expired in June, where we are trying to compensate the special ed teachers for the extra work that they are providing in supporting our students with case managing and supporting their educational progress.
I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Anything, Mr. Gutierrez? As far as I'm on the soapbox already, sped teachers are even harder to find. And I've said this now for like the past 10 years here. A lot more of our students that are coming to us, and not just Barstow, but public education in general, are going to be requiring sped teachers and the look and case things for IEPs and everything else. It's getting worse and worse and worse. So again, sped teacher, outstanding. You need to preach it somehow, some way, because I would assume out of every 10 teachers, maybe one of them thought of becoming a sped teacher, and there were 0 out of the 10, and they expanded even more. Tough. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? L6B1, transfer classified position, paraeducator special needs. Mr. Mellon from Mr. Gutierrez.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so we have this position is for a one-on-one special needs paraeducator. The student transferred from Henderson to Barstow Fine Arts Academy, and in order to support that student, we're recommending the board approve the transfer of the special needs paraeducator to support that student.
Entertained motion.
So moved.
Second.
Questions, Mr. Gutierrez? All in favor? Items for future board meetings from anyone? We will be going back into closed session. You folks can go on. All of your stuff. We're going to take 5 minutes, then we'll be back in closed session.
Can we get signatures? Everybody first?
Well, we're playing. Sorry.